Ladies and gentlemen, live, laugh, love. For this is a Fred the Alien Productions podcast.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's also sus.
It's also sauce as hell. Yeah. More on that later because it's time to cue the music.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Wait a minute. Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello.
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 I'm Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and
And I'm the pickle eater himself, Michael.
Ooh, pickles.
Ooh, pickle.
Ooh, pickles. And you are now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Experiencing it for the means of... Well,
A full mouth by the sounds of it.
Pickle mouth.
I may not have thought this through,
Yeah.
but we don't behave on this podcast, don't we? No.
No, we do not behave on this podcast, and that's, what sets us apart from the other podcasts you might listen
Exactly.
Yeah. Who needs
to. Yes, who needs them? Yes, exactly right. We provide you with all the chaos you need,
Yeah,
collectible
exactly.
or not.
Mhm.
That's us.
Deep cuts reference.
Mhm.
Hello everyone. Let's get into the show. Fulya, hello.
Hey.
Hi. What have you been watching this week?
So, all I've watched this week was the Lego Masters Grandmaster of the Galaxy finale,
Nice.
which was great fun. And of course, MasterChef. They're pretty much the only things I've been watching this week.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
Yep. But yeah, I've already forgotten who won in the grand in Lego Masters. Like it was so long ago.
It was Henry and Kate.
Henry and Kate. That's right. That's
Henry and
right.
Kate won.
They kind of bookend their time on the show essentially.
Yes. It was pretty cool.
Yes.
In that respect.
Season 1 winners, season 7 winners.
Yeah.
They went out with a bang.
First team ever to win twice.
Yep. And that's really awesome. Good to see that. I was really hoping that it was going to be Trent and Alex.
I
Like,
know.
So close.
That was so close. I know. I have a lot of thoughts, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm happy. Like either way, everyone's a winner, especially being on Lego Masters. Like seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Swedish team did a great job of getting that far as well. Like they're pretty cool builders
Yeah.
themselves. So
yeah,
that was awesome to see them. Yeah.
Hmm.
No. And they're also really cool dudes. I like them.
Yeah. Same.
They've become a favorite here in Australia.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, no, not a lot of watching this week, unfortunately. Haven't really had a chance to do much of that. I was hoping to go to the cinemas, but then I ran out of time because I've been doing other things. But what I hopefully will be watching, and this is for me, for my future me, I would like to go and see Elio. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Elio.
Nice.
Yeah. So I kind of want to go see that. So hopefully at some point, if I get a chance this week, I'll go watch it. But yeah, there will be another thing we'll be watching this coming week. And when I say we, I mean me and Kendall.
Yes. Yes, I had to think about it. I'm like, we're not going to the movies. Oh, I know what we're doing. I know what we're doing. Yes.
But we shall chat about that next week.
Next week. Yes, exactly.
Little hint for people to come back.
Jurassic
Yes.
Park.
No.
Yes. But the other thing I will also mention, I have bought some DVDs and Blu-rays because there are some movies that I didn't have on like I couldn't find them on streaming services. So I didn't want to buy them digitally. So I thought, you know what? Let me just buy them at work.
got that
And these
Sam on
are
too.
yeah, exactly. And these are movies I haven't actually seen personally. I bought Spaceballs.
Yay!
I've never watched Spaceballs.
That's exciting.
So I need to watch that. And I also bought My Fair Lady on DVD only because of the
Oh.
fact that I had worked on the musical the stage production not too long ago at the start of this month. And I thought, you know what? Now I want to go and watch the movie because it's Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious as to how that movie became a musical. So yeah, those are what I have bought. And
Reverse.
it's the other way around. So that it was the musical and then they made the movie. Okay.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. It was
No.
Julie Andrews originated the role, and a lot of people were annoyed at the time that Audrey Hepburn got cast in the film. Instead of
She was too busy.
It was like, yeah, because she was doing Sound of Music and Mary Poppins.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Anyway, sorry, the movie buff in me came out then.
No, that's all good. I don't mind being corrected because I don't know all the history of movies and theater shows, so it's fine. Yeah,
Well,
no,
Kendall does.
I know some things.
They coincide. It's fine. It's fine. They intertwine. So yeah, it was really good to do the theater production. But yeah, now I kind of want to see the film itself to see kind of how it played out in film context. But especially considering the fact that it's also a classic film because it's like back from the 40s or 50s or something like that.
It's 60s, I think.
60s. Okay.
Early to mid 60s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
If my memory serves. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very curious about that. So yeah, hopefully at some point you'll get a little quick review from me in the weekly watchings at some point once I watch them.
Yay. That's exciting.
Yeah. There you go. A little insight into the future.
Previews of coming attractions.
Yes.
Nice. Thanks, Fulya.
Sorry.
Great. Mike, what about you? What have you been watching this week?
Well, going off what Fulya said of buying some DVDs, I also bought some DVDs. That's how I knew there was a sale on at the JB. Because I was looking around, it's like, I got nothing to do. It's like, oh, that's a good deal. 2 movies for $20. I can do that. What can I find? I found a movie that I like but didn't have. I got Train Spotting because I'm sort of on a Danny Boyle kick at the moment.
Is it the original or the new one?
The original.
The original, okay.
No, not number 2, which I still haven't seen yet. But want to.
Oh, so the newer one is just the sequel to the first one?
Yeah.
I assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I thought it was like a remake or something like that.
Yeah, that's okay. There's so many remakes these days, Fulya. It's easy.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to keep up.
Well, who knows? Same cast, just updated.
Yeah.
Even though
it's a different universe.
Yeah. Instead of all these young adults, they're now middle-aged drug addicts.
Actually, please sell me Train Spotting. I've never actually seen it.
Don't see it.
I don't know if it would be for me. That's the thing. Like, I just want to know what it's about.
Absolutely not.
Wow. Okay.
Set in Scotland, in the 90s. So, where it was, about essentially about under life of these drug-addled people and trying to get by. Hugh McGregor is the main person. Just trying to live by life and trying to live life as it were. It's sort of like a coming of age story, and awful things do happen within it because they are trying to live life, but they're druggies and they're a lot of drug use in this, and there's one particular scenario that happens, and it sort of snaps the Hugh McGregor's character out of it, and is trying to get out and trying to get sober and all that. So yeah.
Does it have something to do with him lying on the tracks of a train?
No.
Okay. I'm just looking at the IMDb page, and all I see is him lying in the middle of a train track.
Well, there's that, but tracks as in heroin tracks on your arm.
Okay.
so you very learn the lingo when it comes.
Okay.
To
yes.
the H.
Yes. Because I'm seeing Johnny Lee Miller's also in this one too.
Yeah. And a very good. It's sort of a companion piece to like what Danny Boyle has done. It's very out there and very very whimsical in a sort of non sort of a linear narrative driven profession. And yeah, I would recommend it for the style. I wouldn't recommend it for the substance of it, considering there's one bit that's like, oh yeah, this is a thing, and I don't like it.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't. Yeah. If you were to watch it, it'll come to a certain bit and it says nope, and you'll stop it.
Okay. Maybe I shouldn't delve into it then.
Nah. Have you seen it, Kendall?
Trainspotting? No. I definitely for a long time avoided watching it just because of, I don't like drug trippy movies. Like, they're not my vibe.
This is a very anti-drug message movie.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But hearing about babies crawling on ceilings and hallucinations and things, I'm just
that's when he's detoxing.
Yeah,
and he's
okay.
hallucinating.
Yeah, but yeah, all that. I don't know. I watched one bad drug trip movie and it really fucked with me, and I'm just like, I don't want to watch anymore. But I mean, it's Danny Boyle, and it's an incredible cast. Like, it's Ewan McGregor's breakout role, right? So like,
yeah,
I do want to see it. Yeah, I do want to see it one day. I just haven't gotten the stomach up to watch it yet. But I would like to watch it one day.
Yeah, a bit of a. I can't really sell you on it because
you don't need to. It's okay.
Yeah, hard to watch when you're a parent.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's a reason why he's hallucinating a baby on the roof.
Oh god. All right. Say less.
Okay.
Cool.
And the other one's Baby Driver that I still haven't seen or watched yet.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, 2 shows have dropped roughly at the same time. Squid Game and The Bear. I've seen the first 2 episodes of the Squid Game, so one left, which I'm probably going to be watching later on tonight with the wife, because that's our that's our date night. We like to watch.
That's your show.
Yeah, try to get her into the Bear because we'll watch the first episode of the Bear, but yeah, she's on her phone. So anyway, I'm watching it without her. So bleh. I'm sort of at a point of bit indifference to the Squid Game. I think one season was enough. And I'm sort of curious on where this is going to end. I've heard mixed reviews on it, and something has spoiled my wife with the last episode, so here nor there. And the second episode, a lot of favorite characters die, so that's a shame. Anyway, it's the Squid Game. Bear is fun. it's kind of a slow sort of story on where it's going to go. I still reckon that the bear's going to close down. Not their fault. I think they're starting to the characters are coming aware to say, you know what do I want to do? Do I want to do what I thought I wanted to do and be miserable, or be happy and do something else? But still roughly in the same vein. I still think it's going to be like that, because I think the people in the bear are becoming more and more famous. So it's probably hard to actually get them together. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like what Sherlock, sort of like the Sherlock thing, because Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman were getting way too busy to come back to England to do that, and there was like huge year gaps in between seasons, so I can sort of understand it. And then I think it's just going to be a bittersweet ending, which I think actually would be fitting with the bear, because each episode is sort of very slow, and it's like in the moment, and you are feeling the emotion. And the second episode was quite fun. There was very little dialogue, but you are seeing reactions a lot, and you can sort of tell what the scene was about, because they're phenomenal actors, and sometimes less is more, and I kind of like that. And they're doing a lot more experimental, like, character growth sort of things. So that's a bit of fun. I think that's it. What about you, Kendall? What have you been doing?
Yes, well, my watchings this week has been a few. Something from both of you mentioning now, starting with Lego Masters. Finished. I was sad it was so annoying. I got to Tuesday night and I was like, right, I've got to get home so I can watch the Sunday night, and then the Monday night so I can watch the Tuesday night. I'm like, it's only 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I forgot that they narrowed it down to 4 already for some reason, and they only ever have 3 teams in the finale, of course. So yeah. That was my stupid brain. What just after last week, just saying, we want more Lego Masters. And then,
pretty much.
And then hilariously going back through the IMDb listings and seeing how many episodes there are in different previous seasons, and it's actually very similar. Like, this is definitely like 1 or 2 episodes shorter than the last couple, but they have been short seasons, so I don't know where I'm getting all this from. But anyway, regardless, I was sad to see Team China exit. Not make the finale. Their build just wasn't up to snuff with the others, so I kind of saw it coming through the episode. I'm like, the fact that they couldn't get off the ground 2 hours in to their build, I'm like, okay, well, they're done. And then the finale, like you said, Fulya, I agree. It would have been nice to see Trent and Alex get up and win. Like the dog they created, that cute puppy, was just...
It was so good.
It was great. It had so much life in its expression. Like the tongue hanging out of its mouth, and the big eyes, and just... It looked great. Like it felt like it was in motion. Like it was just really... It was a really good build. Like if they'd nailed the cat... I think they might have won, to be honest.
Potentially.
Yeah, because as much as I'm kind of glad Henry and Cade won, because I think if I had to pick one I liked the most, it is their build, but only just because I loved the Hydra, the way they did the scales and the fluidity of its curves. Like it just stunned me, and the Pegasus as well. But it was so frustrating watching them. And I kept thinking of your thoughts last week about how like their time management skills are just so bad, and it was just on display in both episodes in the final week. And I was just like, come on, guys, you're just It was very stressful. I mean, it's part of the entertainment factor, I suppose, of
Yes,
it.
part of the drama and all that.
Yeah, yeah. And it would have been really cool to see what kind of build they could have come up with if they didn't have the 26-hour time constraint. Not that that's a constraint, but you know what I mean. Like they could
Yeah.
have, they wanted to do 5 heads. They wanted to, do more detail. Like they lost a lot of time because it took them longer than they expected to
Yeah.
get everything
And
done.
that's also the reason why I was hoping that Alex and Trent would have gotten the win, just because of the fact that they had more detail in their build compared to them.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like as soon as Brickman pointed out like the pillar underneath the Pegasus, how it had a little bit of vines kind of going on it, but it definitely could have had more. Like
Yeah, for sure.
it looked more like a pillar than an actual cliff face that the
Yeah.
Pegasus was perched on. Yeah, so definitely not their best build, but probably still better than, like they said, better than their season 1 finale one, which was amazing in and of itself anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, but I was just that way that Hydra looked just stole me.
Yeah, the Hydra was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. But
Yeah.
but I think overall, to be honest, it was probably I wasn't really that. There were no builds in the finale that really knocked my socks off. Like this was, it was like I admired the Swedish team for their creativity and with their idea and the audacity to try and build a life-size little boy was like
Yeah.
really cool, and the idea of like his imagination attacking him, and then all the
Yeah.
little details and building like little toys like the Etch-a-Sketch and the Game Boy, like that was
Yeah.
really cool. But yeah, I don't know, it was just in terms of seeing, like I was thinking about, I'm like, I would have loved to have seen what China would have done, what
Yeah.
fucking, why am I forgetting their names? My favorite team, Owen and Thingo. I'm forgetting her name.
Yes.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Anyway, we're so good on this podcast. Anyway, yeah, I just, to see what the other teams might have done had they had made the finale, would have been cool.
Agreed.
But anyway, it was still a good season. It was a good season.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Lego Masters. And then yes, Squid Game is here, the final season. Although, from, like you said, Mike, what the internet seem to be saying certain things, and yes, there are spoilers. Thankfully, I've avoided them, but it seems like they've left it open ended in a way. That's all I've seen in terms of spoilering, and I'm like, well, whatever, I mean, how are they going to end this satisfyingly? It's like you said, maybe it should have just been a single season.
I mean, even the first season was open ended.
Yeah, exactly. It did have that open ending. It did set up, Gihan going back in.
Yeah.
Like he, no spoilers, but he goes back in the second season. Where
we're going,
but,
we don't need roads.
Exactly.
An unintentional setup.
Yeah, that's right. So, but yeah, I've like yourself, I've seen the first 2 episodes. I haven't had a chance to watch the other episodes yet. It's only 6 episodes all up for the final season. But no, I love it. Episode 2 especially was just so good because it was the entire episode basically, with the exception of the the boating, crew, the brother detective out on the boat at the beginning. The rest of it was all just taking place inside of this game of like hide and seek, where one team has to, go and find the other team and kill them, and if they don't kill someone by the time the timer runs out, then they get killed. So it's just this whole, I love, it's just classic Squid Game of like, here's a childhood game and let's make it sinister, and
hide and seek, I kill you.
Hide and seek, yeah, you die at the end of hide and seek once someone dies. It was really, really good, and I was crying by the end because yes, there was a character death happened that actually didn't need to happen, and I say that by also adding that's not a bad writing choice. I think that was great writing because I had a feeling that character was going to die because I feel like they've had such a good run up until this point. Like, surely their luck's going to run out. but then B, it's also just adds to the tragedy of that character's death when it's like it could have been avoided because of this other character making a decision. So like the way that they've built upon the stories and development of the characters inside of the games, it's just really well told. So I was a mess. I was a mess at the end of episode 2. Yeah, I was like, oh, why? My partner's just looking at me, like making a face, and I'm just like, shut up. Let me cry, okay? Let me have my moment. And I like it more than him too. So far, he likes to nitpick things a lot. I don't know if you guys have picked up this yet, but he does like to nitpick some things when we watch stuff together. And like if he doesn't like something, he'll let you know about it. And I kind of adore him for that because he's not a follower. He's very much a contrarian, if ever there was one. Anyway, but yeah, I'm enjoying.
He just waits to the end.
Sorry,
He doesn't do it during. He just waits to the end.
No. So we'll talk during. Like it's not like we're having a conversation. Like if something happens and we're reacting to it in the moment, he'll make a comment. But it doesn't annoy me or anything because unless I outright disagree. Like when we go to the movies, talk. But like if we're at home watching something, then it's a little different. But yeah, when you got the remote in your hand, you can pause it, right? But yeah, it's fine. But yeah, Squid Game so far, good. Yeah, I'm just loving what they're doing with Gi-hun now. His reaction to the end of season 2 and how devastated he was by that, and I'm really curious to see where his character goes, and over the course of the next few episodes. So yeah, it's good. And then the last thing I'll mention that I watched was there's a new documentary came out on Disney Plus. It's a National Geographic doco, I'm pretty sure, called Sally, and it's about the American astronaut Sally Ride, who was the first American woman in space. She went to space in 1983 on the Space Shuttle Challenger, 3 years before that tragically exploded on takeoff. But she was this like incredibly smart woman who just had this drive to get wherever she wanted to go, and she decided at a very young age that she wanted to be an astronaut. She wanted to go into space, and the moment that NASA announced that they were going to open the candidacy for astronauts to women and people of color, because until the mid 70s it was only white men that could go into space. So she applied and got in and all of this, and was in training and stuff. But the doco is really beautiful because I mean, not to say that this is beautiful, but it's because unfortunately Sally passed away in 2012. She had cancer, but it's beautiful because it tells her story through all this footage that they had of her and stuff, but then through the eyes of her friends and colleagues and her partner, who was a woman. Sally was gay and in the closet her entire life. She never came out until after she died, when her partner paid tribute to her, and in her obituary it was like she is survived by her partner of 27 years, etc., etc. No, because like back then, in the 70s and 80s, you couldn't, AIDS was going on. There's all this gay panic happening, and you couldn't. Coming out was the end of your career. Like Billie Jean King, for example, they mention her in the documentary because Sally Ride was also into tennis, and her partner played tennis professionally, played Wimbledon, played the US Open and stuff. And so they were friends with Billie Jean King, and obviously she famously was. She didn't actually have the luxury of coming out herself. She got she got pushed out of the closet, if you will, and lost all these endorsements, and her tennis career completely crumbled, and she had to start from scratch again. She did nothing wrong. She was, she just likes women. She doesn't like men, and apparently back then that was a bad thing. So that's why Sally was like, well, if I come out and I tell all these people who I really am, then NASA's going to drop me, fuck because she was such a public figure of, first American woman in space. It was a huge thing. Like she was even on Sesame Street. She was on the, cover of Time magazine, I think, as well. Like she was this big star, and she didn't really want to be either. And I kind of respect her a lot for that. She kind of wanted to keep her professional life and her personal life separate. And she even had she did an Elton John and had a fake marriage to a man, one of her colleagues, just to perpetuate this lie in the media that, she was the idyllic American woman. So it's just, yeah. But anyway, it was a fascinating story, and it was really cool just to learn more about her. Because I, knew of her because I like space and watching things about space and learning about space and astronauts and NASA and stuff. And yeah, just to hear her story. It was really cool. It was a really good documentary and a really good one to watch for Pride Month as well, because it's Pride Month, June. But also really inspiring if you're a woman and you're wanting to get into science, go into space and all this stuff. And it's just, do what you want. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you can't achieve your dreams, whatever those dreams may be. And Sally and her partner, before Sally died, they started a foundation to help young women get the education that they couldn't otherwise get, propel them into great careers of being scientists and changing the world in their own small ways. So yeah, so I have a lot of respect for Sally. It was a really nice documentary. So yeah, I know I just basically told you guys the thing, but I recommend people watch it. It was nice. Good. I liked it.
It's
It is
history. You
different.
need to know your history.
I was
Yes,
going to
history.
say, yeah, it's different. It's different watching it compared to someone explaining it. And even if after you've explained it, we can still go back and watch it, and it'll be a different experience for us
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I was curious to see if they were going to touch on the Challenger disaster a bit, and they did, because because when they open up the program to the people of color and the women in the 70s, that part of that program, some of the astronauts who died in Challenger were actually introduced into NASA during then with Sally. So she was like, with all of those astronauts died and stuff, like they all trained together and stuff, and you just hearing about toll it took on her, and the fact that she was asked to be a part of the investigative board put together into the disaster. And here there's footage, they show footage of her like questioning the NASA officials, because NASA knew that it's like me talking about fucking Ocean Gate last week. Like NASA knew something was wrong with that shuttle and they did nothing. And then it blew up. So, and then you can see the disdain on Sally's face, and when she's talking and saying, you knew about this and you did nothing, essentially. It's just, get him, Sally, get him. Yeah, it was cool. It was a really cool documentary. I highly recommend people check it out, and directed by a woman as well. So we'd love to see it. It's on Disney Plus here in Australia.
I love women.
Love women.
That's my contribute to Pride Month.
All right.
It's a weird a weird thing that I know about the Challenger is Big Bird was supposed to be on it.
Actually? Oh, I don't remember that.
And
you're probably right. I just forgotten. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
As a good thing, because could you imagine?
Fucking NASA killed Big Bird. Jesus.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst PR disaster of all time.
Just imagine, what would you do? It's either break the kids' hearts that Big Bird's no longer on Sesame Street, or would you say Big Bird's not real?
Yeah.
And here he is. There you go. Oh well.
Oh well. Well, thank God. Thank God. That didn't happen. It was already sad enough as it was. But anyway, I love space. Let's end the weekly watchings there and get straight on into the nerdy news.
This is the news in Nerdy News. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Okay, it's nerdy news time, and we've got some pretty cool things to talk about this week, I reckon. So I'm going to start with this bit of awesome news. We have a director for the next James Bond film, although we still don't have a new Bond or a title or anything like that. But our director is going to be Denis Villeneuve of Dune fame, most recently. Obviously, Blade Runner 2049, Arrival. One of the best working directors today, in my humble opinion. And I think possibly the best choice outside of Christopher to do a Bond film. I
he
think.
so wants it.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is great. This is really great. And Denis is actually a big fan of James Bond as well. He's been talking about James Bond for years. So it's just really cool that he gets to kind of have his dream come true here. Like he said in the statement regarding the news, some of my earliest movie-going memories connected to 007. I grew up watching James Bond films with my father ever since Dr. No with Sean Connery. I'm a die-hard Bond fan. To me, he's sacred territory. I intend to honor the tradition and open the path for many new missions to come. This is a massive responsibility, but also incredibly exciting for me and a huge honor. So I, the fact that I think when we talked about the takeover by Amazon, with Barbara Broccoli and her partner stepping down as runners, I guess, of the franchise. This is a really good sign that Amazon is actually maybe understanding the character or understanding the fans' response to that announcement. By picking a director like Denis to do this movie and maybe movies after, depending on the success. I don't know, but yeah, I was so happy to hear this. Oh, fuck yes, let's fucking go. Let's let's go with Denis. So I said to my boyfriend, like, Moonraker remake, because Denis so good at doing sci-fi. If he took James Bond to space, that would be kind of funny. But no, he's not going to do that. That's just me being stupid. But anyway, now we just have to wait to see who James will be played by. So who knows? Fulya, you like a bit of James Bond. How does this news strike you?
I haven't really watched anything that Denis Villeneuve has actually made or directed, so I'm not quite sure how to think.
Get on it. Yeah.
It's like, get to it, Fulya.
Mm-hmm. He's amazing. Visually amazing.
Maybe this is where I have to go and watch June.
Yeah. Get on it.
But yeah, look, I'm still trying to do my catch-up watch of all of the James Bond films. I haven't really gotten back into it as of late, and I really do want to go back to, like, I think, what was the last one I watched? Hold on a second, because I've also been keeping notes of the James Bond films that I have been watching. Where is it? Oh, here we go. So the last one that I watched was The Spy Who Loved Me. So the next one would be Moonraker. Funnily enough. Yeah. So, yeah, look, at this point in time, like, there's not really much I can say, since I don't really know what's going on with the current James Bond films, especially considering the last one was Daniel Craig, and I haven't really gotten up to that point. So, yeah, look, if Denis Villeneuve is very well known for a lot of his big feature films, and if June is one of them, then I assume that he'll do really good with with James Bond as well, and the fact that he's also done Arrival too. So yeah.
Arrival is amazing.
Yeah.
Arrival is.
Mm.
Mm.
That's it.
Nice. That's it. Mike, you have seen a few of Denis Villeneuve's movies. So how do you feel then about this news? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, yeah, going through what you had for the list was very sci-fi like versions of it, and yeah, bit of a different genre of film that we know him from, but I've no doubt that he could probably like show his hand for it, considering he is a fan. And when you said do Moonraker again, that reminded me. It's like, oh yeah, they did Thunderball twice because of legal reasons.
Really?
Yeah, they did Thunderball in the
Yeah.
60s, and they did Never Say Never Again.
Yeah. Is Never Say Never Again the same story?
Yes.
Ah.
Also with
Okay.
Sean Connery.
Today I learned. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting tidbit. It's like, so
Yeah.
it's not out of the ordinary that they remake a story again, but they sort of did that with Daniel Craig, so bringing back Spectre and doing somewhat newer versions of like Blofeld and all that. So who knows? Maybe they go. I'm really hoping that they do like a period piece of it set within the Cold War, so you can still do the sort of espionage sort of stuff. Otherwise, it's starting to turning into like Top Gun, and named entity is here, and we're fighting against them because neopolitics is just up in the air at the moment. Yeah, I'm happy for this. Not sure about what actual Die Hard fans will think about it, but I'm not that much of a Die Hard fan. I'm just a casual observer, so I'm all for it. Very good.
Nice.
But it does drag him away from doing more Dune sequels. You're getting a Messiah.
Well, I mean, they're doing Doom Messiah. That's confirmed. But yeah, I guess if we want anything after that, then maybe not.
We want more. I
They're
want
long enough.
I want to see the human worm hybrid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
It gets
I don't know.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get that.
Please.
All right, let's move on to our next bit of news. Disney related. It was confirmed on the very appropriate day of 26th of June, that we are going to be getting a sequel to the Lilo and Stitch.
I was about to say.
Yep, I know. I nearly got the eyebrow from Fulya. Lilo and Stitch live action. We're getting a sequel. Number 2 is announced. There was a really cute, weirdly edited video that they put out of Stitch. I'm rambling and saying wrong names now. Stitch driving around in this little cute car on the Disney lot, and then he sees a Studio 2, and then it's just like, oh my god. Yeah, so number 2 is coming. I don't know if it's confirmed if they're going to be remaking the straight to DVD Lilo and Stitch 2, or if it's going to be a new story that continues on, considering they changed a couple of things. I think you said Fulya from the original in the live action.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happening, but yeah, they're clearly pretty confident in this IP. It seems to have made them enough money for them to just go, yeah, I guess guess we'll go again. I don't really have any thoughts on this apart from that, and if people enjoy and want to go watch this, then cool. I haven't watched either movie. I will when they when the live action comes on Disney Plus. I will do a bang and I'll just get it done, and then I'll present my findings. But until then, Fulya, what are you thinking about this news? Does this excite you, or are you a bit worried that they're kind of overdoing it now?
Look, sorry, I'm getting distracted because I'm now watching the actual little teaser thing that they did for for number 2.
Quick. Quick block, stick, block. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about, like, it was a good the live action film. It was good apart from the things that I mentioned last time. So if they're gonna do number 2, and if they're going by what number 2's movie was, it's got to be interesting because number 2 kind of sets up the series that happened essentially.
Yeah.
By the end of it. Yeah. And I've watched the series from start to finish. It's going to leave that one. That's going to be interesting to see how they end up doing the ending to that particular film, whether or not they're going to. Yes, Michael?
Sorry. Just to clarify, there was Stitch, the movie, which was to set up the series, and then there was a Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch.
That's right. So the second one is about Stitch that, for whatever reason, he starts reverting back to his alien ways before he ended up crashing into Hawaii. And yeah, this was like Lilo's thing to try and save him and get him back to his state of being his cute, fluffy self. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they do it in this particular, in live action sense, whether or not they're going to end up removing certain scenes and characters in this one. But I don't know that we really need number 2 in a live action form. I think number 1 was enough. I feel like number 1 was enough. But everybody loves seeing Stitch. They, like, the kids, the fans. He's absolutely adorable in cartoon form and in live action form. So they did him justice. So I guess, more money for Disney.
Yeah.
Why not do number
not?
2?
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I just feel like I think if they just left it at number 1, it would have been enough for live action. Because now we're getting to a point where Disney is making pretty much all of their animated movies into live action.
For sure.
And not a lot of them are landing very well. Like they're not, from what I've been hearing for most things. I still need to watch Snow White, even though everybody keeps saying that, it's not really worth it. I still want to see what they did with it, even though of the thoughts I've been hearing from people. But yeah, I think Disney need to stop going the route of making as many live actions from their animated IP and actually putting their money into making original stories like Elio, like Turning Red.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Turning Red was amazing. I absolutely loved that movie. And I kind of feel like, especially because it's in collaboration with Pixar, they need to, there wasn't very much in terms of marketing for Elio from what I've noticed. I haven't really seen it pop up a lot on any kind of ad. They've only been utilizing social media so they didn't really do Elio justice in terms of its marketing. And it's probably why it's not getting the highest of like esteems and ratings and feedback as, you know, Disney and Pixar have been hoping for, especially during its opening week. And yeah, it's a shame in that respect. So I kind of feel like Disney needs to, you know, take a step back, put the brakes on live action, and just put it into some new stories.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That is, yeah, huge. Yeah, they really need to. But sadly, we don't live in a world where Hollywood wants to do that. So
No, unfortunately not.
fortunately not. Just on that, apparently Elio is actually not doing well at the box office.
No. And it's
So-
probably because of the fact they just didn't market it very well.
Yeah, because they spent all their time focusing on too, and I think the fact that they've released Elio so close to that ruined it. I think they fucked themselves in the foot, and you know what? It feels like they've done it intentionally, to be honest.
I don't know.
So I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
not tangent. Gold leader, Mike.
That's right.
Mike, how are you feeling about a Lilo and 2 live action?
Lilo and Stretcher.
Hey.
Anyway, yeah, just to put on the Elio side of it, Pete Docter, who's like main guy for Pixar, has come out and says it's like, you know, we can hear you, we understand, but there is sometimes that we have to do like sequels to like Toy Story and all that, just so we can actually afford to do our original stuff like Elio and stuff.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, yeah, Disney it's not going to front the bill for some strange new stuff, because they know, and unfortunately it is true, people are more likely to go to see something more familiar than something new. We say we want something new, but the statistics are against that notion, unfortunately. But yeah, you can't really control people with you know, it's a Cars 10 full throttle, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. But for the Lilo and Stitch, I got it right this time. I reckon because I've actually heard this from Zach Galifianakis, that the reason why, because you see all the press junkets and there was a lot of poo-pooing the movie, unfortunately, because it was done roughly at the time of the writer's strike, so they couldn't really like ad-lib or anything like that. It's sort of what happened with the Wolverine origin movie, where they couldn't really skirt too far out of the script, which is bad for, you know, stuff. So they had to do like first draft sort of thing. And I'm guessing probably because they wanted to say, yeah, we're going to do another one. Seems like we're going to do it right this time. So they're probably going to be rewriting things that happened in the movie that people don't like. And I've heard what happens at the end. I haven't seen it, but I've heard, and I wouldn't like it either. Mohana means family. Does it? Really?
Fuck yourself.
Or no, because Kendall's going to watch it. I think they're probably going to right some wrongs, and maybe there's a redemption arc for Jumba, maybe in this, to veer him back to what he was in the movie. Maybe, I don't know, but this is what I'm thinking. And then we're gonna have Peakley in drag, please. we want to see that.
Yes, we do.
It was an original movie, and it was actually a lot of people's sort of waking up moment. It's like, okay, I'm being seen for the first time, sort of thing. and it was, before all this trans panic that's happening now. So, come on, let's kick that can down the road and bring it back. So, cool. They're doing another one. I'm skeptical on what they're going to do, but this is what I would do. Right the wrongs and do what people want to see. Sort of like the Sonic movies, where the first one was a bit far away from what the games were, but after every sequel, they sort of go back to what the games are, and people actually like it for that. And it's like, so we don't have to do, we have to do a dance sequence every time. We do a dance sequence every movie. Okay, cool. So I'm in two minds of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's totally fair. All right. Let's move on to our next bit of the news. This is interesting. Complete gear change. And speaking of sequels, though, The Social Network is getting a sequel. Aaron Sorkin, who wrote the David Fincher film back in 2010, that starred Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg, and was an amazing film. Should have won Best Picture that year, but that's neither here nor there. He's wanted to write a sequel for this for a while, and then officially it's happening. He's going to direct it as well, which is fine because he's also directed some stuff. So to write and direct is a big job, but it's cool that he'll have control, hopefully. But I'm fascinated with this because I don't really know too much about Facebook's kind of, how it's kind of gone a bit down the tubes in terms of its political shit. I know obviously a lot of people have bad opinions of Mark Zuckerberg now. I mean, the guy's a bit, say whatever you will. I can't really comment. I don't know enough. But this movie sounds like it'll probably tell us all we need to know. They haven't said whether or not Jesse Eisenberg's returning to reprise his role, but I feel like if they want to have the best continuity, they need to keep him. Apparently, he said that he would do the role if he was asked to continue. Jesse Eisenberg has said that, so who knows? But yeah, the film's going to be talking about. There were these series of articles the Street Journal did called Facebook Files, which published leaked documents that suggested that Facebook was well aware of the societal harms its algorithm gating. And that's a quote from an IGN article reading. So yeah, some deep shit. Sorkin also is saying that he believes Facebook contributed to the events of January 2020 when rioters broke into the US Capitol building. But the sources in Hollywood have stressed that the sequel won't specifically be about that. It's not going to be a January 6th movie, but it's going to talk about probably social media as a whole and how Facebook kind of was big. I mean, MySpace was before Facebook, but Facebook was really the big one that kind of sort of, I don't know, was the foundation of modern social media. How that all continued after that, and now we're seeing this, devolution, I suppose, social media being this just disease. It's a plague. I say as I use social media, but hey, we all do.
Do we?
Anyway, yeah, do we? But yeah, it's gonna be focusing on the negative effects of social media on younger users, especially. So yeah, I'm kind of really fascinated by this. Again, the previous film was great. I think it's amazing. It's kind of a perfect movie in a lot of ways. It's a very good take on a true story, and some phenomenal performance in it. And it was a David Fincher film. I wish he was coming back to direct this because he's one of my favorite directors, but he's not. So, but I'm curious to see how this one plays out. Fulya, what do you think of this? Have you seen The Social Network, and do you have any interest in learning more about the dark side of Facebook?
No. And no.
Exactly what I was expecting. You never disappoint, and I adore you for that. Never change.
I never watched that film. I wasn't really interested in it, so I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't really use Facebook as much as I used to, so I'm like,
Neither, actually.
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
fallen out of it. The only thing I use there is Messenger now.
Yeah.
But yeah, even that, like, very sparsely. So
Yeah. For sure. No, fair enough. Thank you for your honesty, boys. Mike, what about you? Are you a fan of the original film, and does this sound like something that might pique your interest?
I know of the first one, and when it came out, it was a very good film. David Fincher knows how to film a film, and yeah, and it had Sorkin dialogue, which it's Sorkin dialogue. And yeah, ever since then, Facebook has changed, and the CEO has changed as well. I mean, Zuckerberg is now doing jiu-jitsu, wears a gold chain, and it's got broccoli hair. So it doesn't look like the alien lizard offspring that he does. So who knows what's going to happen. Sorkin, I'm a bit worried of where his focus is going to be. Maybe, yeah, it's going to be focusing more on the American side of what Facebook does happen. I mean, Facebook actually has the algorithm that they sort of turned off or lowered the algorithm sort of speed where it comes to misinformation or anything like that on election night on the 2020 election, and then they just ramped it back up for on January. So a lot of things were brewing, and January 6th happened. I think this is probably going to be the wrong end of the telescope. I think because I want them to touch. I even focus on Facebook's problems, but with world problems that also happens. I mean, off the top of my head, there was a genocide in Myanmar, in an African country, where Facebook was actually sort of unwillingly, but the algorithm was sort of a snowballing effect of this sort of upheaval, and these terrible things happen. And of course, Facebook tried to hide it under the rug, and they spend like millions of dollars. And even Zuckerberg has come out as saying, "Oh, we're not going to do fact checking anymore." It's like, okay, you are too dangerous to be left alive, and I'm getting off Facebook because I'm just sick of just my wife saying, "Is this true?" No, get off Facebook. And it's basically that. Facebook is for boomers now. Just to sit in their own little in their little bubbles of misinformation. It's like, did you know Anthony? I get it with my mum. Did you know Anthony Albanese is introducing a death tax? It's like, what's that? First of all, that was Bill Shorten, and second of all, it's not a death tax. It's an inheritance levy. Therefore, as the rich gets richer, they're going to hoard their wealth and not distribute it to the masses. That is the community where you live. Anyway, no, they just changed it. They just called it a death tax. Oh, you can't even get rid of your tax when you die. It's like, no. So, I really don't know if I'm going to be watching this film. I'll have people canary in the coal mines and say, Is this worth watching? I don't know. I'm just, yeah. I know too much to watch it and say, oh yeah, I know too much, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It could
Time
be
for a
like
pickle.
it could be one of those movies where it's like, okay, this is real life, yes, and it's maybe a bit too, I don't know, fucked to just be a source of entertainment, if that makes. Because like The Social Network is one thing because it's about how Facebook was created, and then
And
to
even-
see how dark it's become is kind of.
I mean, Facebook was originally for judging the looks
Yeah.
of women.
Yep.
Everything's fucked.
Everything's fucked. Yeah, it's all down here from here. Downhill from here. All right, let's move on to our final bit of the. Shall we? And this is interesting for me, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, guys. But as we know, there is a Buffy reboot in the works. Buffy the Vampire Slayer will be coming back. A continuation of the original show is happening. It's my favorite show of all time, so I'm very excited about this. But a little nervous. And then during this week, Sarah Michelle Gellar was interviewed, and she said, in her ideal version of the show, she actually wants to bring back a lot of characters from the original show, and even some dead ones. She's, she can say that, I think, because this is a fantasy supernatural show. Like, death doesn't mean it's like a Marvel film. Death doesn't mean it's the end.
It's like Supernatural.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these characters can die over and over again and whatever.
But like in Supernatural, they can really die from a staph infection.
They sure can. Yeah, so her direct quote is, we will try to find a balance between new and old characters. My dream is to bring back everyone who has died, but space will have to be made for new stories as well. So they want to kind of do a good mix of the new with the old, which I respect. And I'm glad she's involved. She's a producer on the show. She's going to be starring in it as sort of like this figurehead character. Like, she'll be in the pilot and then she'll take a step back and then just recur as the story develops. But she's also said that she wants it to be a lighter show than the way the original series ended. Because, like, to be fair, the last couple of seasons of Buffy were dark. Whether you like that or not, that's up to you. I personally really like the darker stuff that they did. But it's interesting that she wants to kind of take a lighter approach to the show, and with the way the show handles humor as a mix with the horror and supernatural elements, I think. But it's the bringing back the dead characters that concerns me a little bit, only because I don't want the deaths of those characters so many years ago now, because this show ended over 20 years ago. I don't want it to kind of undercut the impact of those deaths. So I'm just worried. Like, I feel like it would be hilarious if it, full Buffy spoilers. The show's been around for fucking ever, so sorry, not sorry. You had your chance. But if they could bring back Anya, I think I'd be okay with that, because she's hilarious and she's a good comic relief character and she's fascinating, and Emma Caulfield is great. I was so happy to see her in WandaVision. She was awesome in WandaVision. So I hope they find a way to bring her back and have it be funny, because they kind of did it in Angel when spoilers for Angel. You had your time.
Damn it.
Oh, do you want me to not say?
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'll probably forget, but if I ever get around to watching the show.
Okay. Well, Spike comes back to life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, yeah. he dies at the end of Buffy. It's this noble sacrifice, and it's beautiful, a great completion of his character arc. And then he comes back in the last season of Angel, and it's probably a good example of bringing back a character and actually working out, because James Masters is so good as Spike, and the way he plays off David Boreanaz as Angel is just kind of perfect. So I think if they approached it like that, that would be great. If they could bring him back for this, that would be too. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, then I guess you also don't want them to rely too much on the old stuff. So I like the fact that Sarah's saying here that they want to balance the old with the new. Because people love nostalgia, people love reboots and sequels. We've talked about it already on this podcast today. That's what makes the money. And yeah, I don't know. So I'm like on the fence with bringing back dead characters, but I just hope they find a way to do it in a way that services the character and does them justice, and also fits with the story and doesn't feel like they've just been shoehorned in for the member berries. We'll see what happens. It's still probably a year or two away at this show, so we'll see how we go when they start putting out promos and trailers for it. But yeah. Fulya, you have seen Buffy.
Have.
We haven't really talked about the reboot too much on the podcast. So how does these quotes from Sarah Michelle Gellar go for you? What do you make of it?
So I don't know, like I haven't really gone into the whole idea of watching the reboot. Like I'm not even sure whether or not I'm still kind of, because I've only watched through the original series I think once, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know whether making a reboot is going to really sell me on watching it again. It might make me want to go back and watch the original again, but I don't know that it'll get me to watch this new version. But bringing back characters that have died, like old characters, even if they have died in the series, I'm not sure. It needs to be done in a very tasteful way, like that it's going to work, like you were saying before, Kendall. And in a way that it makes sense. But in this kind of a universe where it's like Supernatural, the show itself, where you've got all these different like angels and demons and whatnot, and vampires and all that sort of thing. It's a little, it's just a little weird if you're trying to bring back characters that have died off. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. I'm quite on the fence on this one, and I think it's going to also depend on which characters they decide to bring back. But if Sarah Michelle Gellar is being like, "Hey, we're going to bring everyone to life," and I'd be like, "Okay, come on now." you need to just pick the good ones. So yeah, who knows? Yeah. Like, because there was a lot of characters that died that had shocking deaths, and like especially ones that were very unexpected. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, to be honest. It really depends on the characters they decide to bring back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like we can say all we want right now, speculate, but like it will definitely depend on if they do bring back dead characters or even live characters. What it'll just depend on who those people are.
Yeah.
That will affect the show and its
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Cool. Well, thank you for Mike, I know you love to talk about Firefly, your favorite show of all time, but have you given any time to one of Joss Whedon's other beloved shows. And are you interested at all in this reboot? And what do you think about just the general premise of resurrecting dead characters after 20 plus years?
That's a very loaded question.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I have watched more Buffy than I have Firefly.
Cool.
Take it as you will. Yeah,
Yes.
my sister was a huge fan, so osmosis, I've watched a couple of episodes and know vague stuff about Buffy. Yeah, I don't mind it. But story permitting, and somehow explain how come they've aged 15 years or 20 years from their deaths. I don't know. So, yeah, I can't really talk about it too much. But speaking of Firefly, I don't know why this ended up on my timeline or anything like that. But James Masters, as you know, plays Spike and Piccolo in the Dragon Ball movie. He actually said that there was actually talks of having him in Firefly, but as Spike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a brief cameo, just him at a bar or something.
A vampire in space.
They live a long time. And that was going to be the gist of it. that the Buffy universe is part of the Firefly universe, which is quite interesting if you think about it. It's the same character, but he lived for whatever how many years from previous year to whatever year Firefly is in. I don't know. I don't watch it. I've never watched it. Maybe I should watch it. I'll see if I can watch it this week.
Oh yeah, you'll make some time. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kendall, one of these days, he's gonna come back one week. He's gonna be like, I actually watched it, and you're gonna not believe him.
No, I'm not.
No. I'll say, oh yeah, I watched it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like way after the fact, and I'll be like, how dare you?
It's like, oh yeah, hold on, I forgot to mention the fact that I watched it.
I watched Firefly and Serenity about a year and a half ago. I forgot to mention. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh man. So great. All right, that's the nerdy news, guys. Let's move on to our next segment, which is of course the trailer park.
Whoa! I didn't have my finger on the button. There we go.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
All right, it's trailer park time, guys, and hopefully it's a better trailer park than last week. I hope I did a better job for Fulya this week, especially with this first trailer, because it's the final trailer for the Fantastic Four First Steps. The movie is coming out in like 3.5 weeks, and we've got a final trailer here. Obviously, yeah, it's the hype train is leaving the station. Yeah, so Mike and I talked about this trailer briefly, jumped on, and I just expressed a bit of emotion because the trailer made me cry. It made me cry a little bit because I was just really happy because it just really feels to me like the Fantastic Four movie everyone, and myself included, has wanted for so many years. Like it feels authentic to Jack and Stan's vision for the characters, and to what the fans want, and to come at a time when the MCU is very it's just nice to see this kind of shiny beak getting closer, and you're like, ooh, this is cool. It's just nice to watch a trailer and go and just I don't know, just feel nice. Like it was funny. The visuals were really cool. Like I'm just really excited to see Pedro Pascal in a Marvel film as well. Although I'm literally starting to, and I hate to admit this, but I feel like I'm starting to get Pedro fatigue now because he is literally everywhere. Like every time I open my phone, I see something to do with Pedro Pascal now, and I'm like, I don't want to be oversaturated with you because you're amazing. And I love you so much. But goddamn, he's fucking everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. So, hey, good for him. He fucking earned it. He's paid his dues. He deserves everything he's getting. He sounds like one of the nicest guys in Hollywood. So good for him. But yeah, I'm excited to see him in this
he's
film.
got a secret inside.
No, don't ruin.
We can't like nice things.
We can't like
Always
nice
bites
things.
us on the ass.
Yeah, but yeah, this was a good trailer. You know, it just kind of it's setting up. It doesn't really give away anything more than what the previous trailers have shown either. Like it's still kind of showing us the general story of what we know is that like the Fantastic Four are known, they're established, you know, they're famous, and Galactus shows up and wants to destroy the Earth. Like we already knew this, and that's all the trailers are giving us. And I'm really, really admiring restraint on that, in that respect. But then at the same time, it's also making me go, is that all the movie is? Like, is there anything else to the story? Like, what else are they not showing? Are they showing us the highlights of the film? Who knows? It's still, regardless either way, it still looks like a great film. I like the jokes about trying to get Ben to say it's clever in time. Especially at the end when Johnny's on his back and he's like, "Say the line." It was very Bart Simpson. I didn't do it. The I didn't do it kid.
This is like this trailer literally just wanted the thing to say the line. That's all this trailer was to me.
and I'm really glad. And like I just said, I admiring the restraint here because, you know, as you guys probably are aware, there's a whole 1, 2, 3 beat thing with like, you know, jokes and storytelling. Like you lay the groundwork and then you pay it off. And it's usually done in 3 beats, and they did it twice in this trailer. So I was like, is this trailer gonna give us the 1, 2, 3 in the space of 2.5 minutes? And they didn't. We don't hear him say it's clobbering time, but we know based on this trailer, we are more than likely going to hear him say the line in the film at some point. And I just really hope it comes at a pivotal, like, I am Groot, or we are Groot sort of a moment. Or if it's more like a why is Gamora moment, then I'll take that as well. I don't care. Heartfelt or humorous, I don't mind. Yeah, it just looks good, and I like the. It's good to see Marvel's first family being Marvel's family, like the synchronized alarms going off, and the Herbie the robot, and the car, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait. This is great. Like Superman next week, Fantastic Four a couple weeks after that. It's gonna be a good July. So, Fulya, what did you think of this trailer?
Look, like I said, like it was just literally just about that line. Being like, this trailer's like trying to get him to be like, say the line, and everybody wants him to say it, but then it cuts off, which I was like, thank goodness. Okay. Look, this trailer, I think, has me a little bit more excited to watch the film, more so than the others did. And that's saying something. So they've actually cut this one really well. I actually enjoyed watching this trailer. It was really good. And now we know like a little bit more as to what we're going to get ourselves into, what this family is going to be going through, what this world is going through at this particular point in time in the universe. And yeah, like the fact that Galactus is the big bad in this, and I think the Silver Surfer is kind of part of it. It's it's definitely going to call on the X-Men, I think, by the end of it. Like, I have this sneaky suspicion, this gut feeling that either a mid-credit scene or a post-credit scene is going to be something along the lines of X-Men in some form. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but they're going to be introducing them into the MCU in some fashion. So, yeah, look, I'm actually looking forward to watching Fantastic Four, considering the fact that it's been a very long time since I last one of the other two that was out a long time ago. 3? Okay, see, I didn't even know there was a third one.
Good, because it does not matter.
Okay.
It doesn't exist. You don't need to watch it.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Don't waste
This
your 2
film,
hours.
this film here, the one that's going into the MCU, is essentially a clean slate for me of Fantastic Four the movie.
Yeah.
So this will be like the first watch of these characters.
Could you say fully that it might be your first steps? And that was a podcast called Fred.
Can I leave the show? I'm kidding.
Don't worry. I'll do it for you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Is that the end? Is that it? We don't have to do this anymore? That's the last episode? Last episode
No.
before 500?
No. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, look, I'm really looking forward to watching this now after this trailer.
Nice.
So yeah, looking forward to it.
Excellent. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Mike, what about you? How are you feeling after watching this trailer? I'm sure no different as to before, but
I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for a final one because we don't need any more. Because essentially, this is what it is. It's a well-established Fantastic Four up against the end of their world. And will they make it out? Spoilers for the ending of Thunderbolts. No. They escape. But who's on that plane?
Or do they? Exactly right. Or do they?
Or do they? I mean,
We don't
it can't be a Marvel thing without without Mr. Fantastic dying. Or one of them.
It can't be a Pedro Pascal thing without him, because he dies in a lot of his stuff as well.
Yeah.
Not that I'm putting that out there.
We've already had a Reed death, and we had a Johnny death. Thing death?
True.
Storm death? Which one's going to die?
Hopefully none of them.
Yeah, but,
Stakes.
They kill a lot of
We want
Fantastic
stakes.
Four people.
Yeah.
I mean, once is sad. Twice is it's a trend now. Comes in 4s. They all die. Yeah. You could say, yeah, I'm about as enthusiastic as I was before watching this. So I'm going to watch it either way because I like the aesthetic. I like them handling something that we all know because there's already 2 other variations of it. Some are good, some are bad. I actually haven't seen Fan 4 Stick, so I don't know. I heard bad things.
Yeah, it's not. It's. Yeah, I could do if I was still doing my non-scripted ramblings videos, I could do a fucking rant on that shit for just 2 hours and just be like, they fucked it. It could have been a good movie, but they fucked it. Anyway, that's why do you think Disney owns Fox now? Anyway, it's just let's not tangent.
Was it just because of Fantastic Four? They wanted Fantastic Four?
And the X-Men, yeah.
And the X-Men.
Yeah.
And
because they'll do them better.
And
anyway.
Predator. And Star Wars.
All the IP.
All the IP. It's not mine. And the Alien Queen is now a Disney princess now.
And we love that for her.
Yes.
Yes. With her big
Queen's
evil jaws.
Slay.
Queen's.
When is this coming out?
Fantastic Four First Steps will be in theaters very soon on the 24th of July.
July. Big month for movies.
Huge month for movies. Huge. Can't wait. Can't wait. All right, let's change things up a bit with our next trailer. This is a movie called Roofman, which I believe was based on a true story. Yes, the trailer said that, didn't it? Yes, thank you. Yes, Roofman. Channing Tatum, starring as the titular Roofman in question. Basically about a convict who has escaped prison. And he seems to be hiding out in a toy store, a Toys R Us to be specific. And then it just, he's on the run, he's wanted, but then he's also trying to start a new life, I think, and get away from the former life he had, and then things kind of are gonna go one way or the other way. Could be good, could be bad, who knows? But I'm really interested in watching this. I think I'm definitely gonna watch this. It looks charming and weirdly. It might be a little funny as well. I mean, Channing Tatum, if you've seen the Jump Street movies, he's pretty good at comedy. Yeah, I hope it's a little bit of a comedic role for him as well. Kirsten Dunst is in this movie too. I love her so much. And as I always say, I love true story movies. So that aspect in there for me works as well. But yeah, it looks like a good film. Like, I think it might be an enjoyable watch. I mean, at least I hope so. Because the trailer did show a lot as well. We did get a very good sense of probably the broad scope of what the story is. So take that as you will. But yeah, I think I'll be watching this when it comes out. I'm really curious to see if it'll be any good. Fulya, what about you? What do you think of Roofman?
I was a little curious when it first started, and we just see, Channing Tatum in his really short shorts, white short shorts, and in his little wheelie kicks rolling around Toys R Us. And then when they said that he was, an escaped prisoner in hiding, I'm like, oh, what a place to hide. Toys R Us, cool. It looks interesting. It seems like it's a guy that wants to turn his life around in some way, but he just doesn't want to be stuck as the criminal that he once was, and so he just wants to have a better life now. Like, I feel like this is like the movie trying to tell us that this person has changed his ways since being in prison. He's learned his lesson, and now he just wants to live his life out. And yeah, like, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a heartwarming story to this, maybe. And especially considering the fact that we see, his bond with the Kirsten Dunst character, and yeah, just trying to get through life without getting in trouble and going back to prison. So I think this might be an interesting watch. But I'm not 100% sure I'm really sold on it. But yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, nice. I'll take it. Thank you. Mike, what do you think of Roofman?
Very charming. Definitely a date film. Yeah, for me and the wife. I think she likes Channing Tatum. I don't know. He wasn't in Nicholas Sparks movie, so there you go. Oh yeah, he was in Magic Mike. Duh.
Yes. She likes Channing Tatum.
she likes the Magic Mike.
She likes the Tatum.
She likes Tatum.
Fulya likes.
I like Tatum too. And he's making a name for himself with this movie. Haha. Because he's Gambit.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I was going to mention. Sorry for the huge tangent of chatting tangent. I think its clobbering time is probably going to be either in Doomsday or in the other one.
Yeah, Secret Wars. That would be in like kind of okay payoff. I don't know if they'll do that, but I like that idea. That's cool.
Well, they need like Avengers Assemble sort of thing.
And they've already used it, I guess.
They were teasing us. Yeah. Say the line. My grandfather's hammer.
By Grapthar's hammer, you shall be.
What
avenged.
a savings.
What a savings! Yeah. I love Galaxy Quest. Anyway.
Yeah. So back to the movie. Yeah, this movie looks good. Peter Dinklage looks like he's having fun. So look at it all having fun. And I haven't seen Kirsten Dunst in a long time, which is fun. Yeah. So when is this coming out?
Roofman will be in the cinemas on the 16th, if I can speak words correctly, 16th of October.
Roofman, I always wanted you to go into Roofman.
Nice. All right, we got one more trailer to discuss, and this one has me pretty intrigued and excited because it is the upcoming Yorgos Lanthimos film, Begonia, or Bugonia. I'm not sure of the pronunciation just yet, but
I thought it was
Begola. 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 So Australian. No. So this movie is about you have Emma Stone being fucking Queen Emma Stone. I die for that woman. She's my hero. And she's playing this like CEO of some big company here. And then on the other hand, you have Jesse Plemons, who is another fantastic actor. Speaking of Kirsten Dunst, they are married. Kirsten Dunst's husband is Jesse Plemons, and he's playing a beekeeper who him and his friend have subscribed to. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory inside the world of the film, or if they genuinely believe it as to be a truth. But they think Emma Stone's character is an alien, which is why they kidnap her in this trailer, in this film. And it just looks weird and funny, and it's just typical Yorgos Lanthimos film. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen his other films, like The Favourite or what's the other one? The Lobster. This one reminded me of The Lobster a bit, and just the weird vibes that it's giving.
I've seen The Favourite. I think the other one was the other Emma Stone film that recently came out. Is it Poor Thing?
Poor Things? Yes, that was the other. Yeah, Poor Things was good.
Yeah.
Oh, Poor Things.
Yeah, Poor Things. Yeah, that movie got Emma Stone her second Oscar as well for lead actress.
Well deserved.
Yeah, very well deserved. She's incredible in that film. But yes, this is typical Yorgos style. It's a weird one. It looks interesting. I love Jesse Plemons as well. I mean, I talk so much about Emma Stone here, but Jesse Plemons is also another one of Hollywood's best working actors today, I think, too. He's going to win an Oscar one day, I believe. He's so good. So I really, it's funny to think about him coming from Breaking Bad and just playing this, like, kind of dumbass goon who, just doesn't know what he's doing, who is actually quite chilling underneath the dumb exterior. And now here he is playing this kind of weird beekeeper guy who who thinks there's an alien heading this company. I don't know. It looks great. It was a teaser trailer. It's not showing us too much, and I like the way it was edited. And the use of the text, like, it's not a typical, like the words aren't in normal order. There's like certain things. It's just great. It's right up my alley. So I'm excited for Begonia when it comes out later this year. Fulya, what did you think of this teaser?
It looked weird. It was very strange.
It's done its job.
Pretty much, it really has. I'm not like I wasn't sure how I felt about it. Like as it was playing it, I was just I'm like, I'm not sure what's happening. What is happening here? So I was quite confused watching this particular trailer. Yeah, had me very perplexed. Don't know this is a movie for me, but you know, it's there for anyone else who enjoys those type of films. So, yeah.
Great. You're so nice. Mike, what did
I like it. It's very off kilter. It's very me. It speaks to me, and I don't know. I kind of enjoy the premise because it could go anywhere, and I actually quite like that. I do like Poor Things, so definitely has the same vein, but probably not as like extravagant or anything like that. It looks like, I don't know. It definitely gives me Long Legs vibes, sort of very, dare I say, very easy to sort of film. But sometimes the simple is the easiest. And in a weird way, I'm excited to see, because I was having a look at the cast list, and I'm excited to see that there's someone here that I know who is a comedian and podcaster. Stavros Hawkes. Sort of a weird circle. He's sort of a fresh, up and coming sort of person. Very, very risque, dare I say. He used to be one of the hosts for a podcast called Come Town. So, yeah. It's kind of interesting that he's in it. It was like, oh, what's he doing? What's he doing here? So I'm excited for that. So, and Emma Stone, you know, it's always good. When you get a Oscar, it's usually like the death nail of your career for a bit. It's like no one wants to touch you. It just goes, ooh, Oscar, we don't, because I think for this trailer it had Oscar winner Emma Stone. It's like, well, I think she's sort of breaking that tradition of saying, well, I can do whatever I want now, and I like this director, so I'm just going to stick with him and do something weird and wacky, and I love that. So when's this coming out? Hopefully soon.
Yes, it should be out this, but
Nice.
October 2025. Definitely.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. Yeah. Cool. So that's Trailer Park done, which
Yes.
means it's
What?
time for the moment.
Yes.
The segment that isn't Doctor Who.
Oh, what? I don't want to do this anymore.
Because we have something else to talk about this week in
Popcorn culture.
Woo!
Yeah, it's popcorn culture time. And of course, you know it. We are here to talk about Ironheart episodes 1 through 3. Those 3 episodes being titled Take Me Home, Will the Real Natalie Please Stand Up, and We in Danger Girl. I put the accent on to reference Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost, just so we're clear. Not trying to offend anyone. Okay.
Too late.
So Ironheart. Too late. You should have shut up. Ugh. Okay. So yes, Ironheart is here at last. Riri Williams is back. And finally her own show, her own story. We've been waiting for this for a long time since her first appearance in the MCU back in Wakanda Forever, which was 2.5 years ago at this point. And yeah, I think I mean, I binged the 3 episodes, so I don't know for you guys if it's easier if we just kind of talk about them as a whole rather than individually.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
I agree.
Cool. Yeah, because they all kind of blended together a bit for me because it is very much a continuous story. Obviously, different things happen in different episodes, but yeah, I think as a whole, it's probably easier to dissect and discuss. But yeah, my overall thoughts so far, without getting into the nitty gritty, I like it and I don't like it at the same time. I'm very, unfortunately, very so on it. I like it more than Echo, in terms of a series, like, and I like it more than, I don't know, what else do I like? I don't know. Like it's good. Like there's some really interesting stuff in there. And I'll talk more about that as we go through what I like and don't like. But I don't know. I just think like Dominic Thorne is great. I love her performance as Riri. I think she's a great screen presence and she's a very good lead in the show. Like I just like her vibe and what she's doing. And Riri Williams is a really cool character. But I feel like the writing is letting her down. I don't love the writing. I don't love some of the editing choices that have been made in this show either. And yeah, and I'm just hoping the payoff, because obviously we're getting the second half 6-episode series later this week. I hope the payoff of the merging of science with technology, like we have this magic thing going on. I said science and technology. I meant magic and technology. Magic is just science we don't understand yet. Thanks.
That's true.
It is. Yeah, but anyway, I hope this payoff of the two opposing things makes sense. Like, because a lot of people, and including us, I think, when the first trailers came out, were questioning why is magic getting involved here? Why, like, what's the purpose of having our, like, the villain of the series have sort of supernatural abilities versus, you know, Riri's technical prowess? So I hope that pays off, because a lot of people are speculating we're getting Mephisto finally. And I would kind of hate if it is Mephisto. It probably is, to be honest. Just not to jump ahead, but I feel like signs are pointing in that direction. But that just could be my 2021 division brain coming back to the.
Honestly, my brain did not even think about that.
There you go. See, who knows? Anything can happen.
Exactly.
Anything can happen. But yeah. Overall, there are certain things about the show I am enjoying, and other things I'm just not. So yeah, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Fulya, after 3 episodes, how are you feeling about Ironheart?
Look, overall, it's not bad. I actually don't mind it. I've enjoyed what I've seen so far, and I think it's just mostly like some of the characters are probably what are maybe letting it down a little bit in terms of like the writing for those characters. So these actors are doing a great job in terms of portraying these characters like to the best of their ability. But I think you might be right, Kendall, in the sense that it's the writing is just a little bit off. I'm not sure how I feel about what's his name? The Hood.
Parker.
Parker, that's the one. That's right. I knew it started with P. I just couldn't think of the word. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure how I feel about him. I'm still trying to also understand what their end goal is for their heists. I don't know if they've actually like gone out of their way to explain it properly yet, or maybe I'm just not getting it. It like the sense that I've gotten so far is that this team is essentially robbing the rich to not necessarily feed the poor, but more so to, give back to maybe gain back what they've lost in a way because of these rich people. So these rich people have done something to them, and so they've banded together to fight against them in a way to get their money however they can. But then Parker has another motive, like a different motive for his reasons for doing it. And I'm wondering, they've subtly hinted at certain things, but they haven't mentioned anything specific. Which I guess we'll find out later on in the next 3 episodes. But yeah, like it's not terrible. I'm enjoying what I've seen so far. Also the fact that what's his name? Hold on a second. The actor that plays the stepdad, Leroyce. Oh my gosh.
Are you talking about Gary? The one that
Yeah.
The one that died?
Yes. Yeah. He is actually from Chicago PD.
Ah, that's cool for you, Fulya.
It is. As soon as I saw him pop up, I was like, oh, this is cool.
I know
Same
you.
universe?
He's in a Marvel film now. Oh, sure.
He's in the MCU.
Yes, he finally made it. And he's a really cool dude. Like I love his acting. He's actually really great. Yeah, the whole idea of Riri portraying her sort of like not portraying Riri's essentially whatever was in her mind that she was going through when she was upgrading her suit into the AI has made the AI turn into her best friend who had passed away.
Cousin.
Sorry?
Her cousin.
Her cousin. Sorry, I thought they were best friends. But yeah,
No,
that makes more sense.
No, are they cousins? Because
Yeah.
Because isn't Gary Riri's stepdad because he was dating Riri's mum, but then Natalie is Gary's daughter, so aren't they more like half sisters? But actually best friends. I don't know. I'm confused. Am I wrong? Or
I've only watched
that's
that
kind of
once.
what I was getting at.
I don't know what they are. All I'm just gonna say is that Natalie and Riri are best friends.
Yeah, they were
And
really close. Yeah,
I'm just
They were
leaving it
tight.
at that.
yes, they were very close. And Riri was devastated when Natalie passed away, obviously. And I like the fact that they're bringing in there's a bit of PTSD for Riri. The fact that she's having these panic attacks as well when she goes through, like she goes into certain places, especially when she walks into that garage and all of a sudden she remembers what happened on that day. And so she's just going through the motions again, and that's causing her to go into a panic attack. So I like that they're incorporating that. But this is the thing that I'm really liking about shows these days, that they're actually putting in mental health issues for their characters, making it more realistic and relatable. And I feel like this is where we need to send out that message that it's okay to have these things, but there are ways of trying to calm yourself. There are ways to control them or to to stay calm or whatever. It's like it's not it's not bad to have mental health issues. It's part of life. It's part of who you are. And I like that they're doing this in shows now and movies. So more of this, please. We need to destigmatize mental health a lot more.
Here, fucking here, yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like especially after, and then to see this as well. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
We have to touch on this stuff in our media, in our entertainment.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's not. It may be about the most fantastical thing, but it still has to reflect normal everyday life. Otherwise, how are we supposed to connect with?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, well said, Fulya. Mike, how are you feeling about Ironheart? Halfway through.
Yeah. Being halfway through, I don't mind it. I wasn't expecting much, but it was actually not a surprise that it was good because it's very different. It's very of the now, and yeah, I'll have my full judgment when the next 3 come out. But what we have so far, it's not gripping my attention too much. It definitely has like a story that I'm not too familiar with, being where it is and where it's set, and I still, I'm in the same boat as why we're combining technology and magic, but that's a big possibility that's going to be more explored in the next three, considering we have we still have the big bad at the end, and whatever that is, who is in control of the hood. I don't mind the fact that it's sort of a cross promotion, a cross pollination with the fantasy and the science fiction. Yeah, it's an odd. I like the fact that it's like people have been saying this is also setting up elements that are going to be in Vision Quest as well, considering there's going to be a lot of the AIs that we've seen throughout the Marvel expansive universe is going to be more formed, and that's the reason why we're going to get Ultron back and all that, and how AI is going to be a part of what this section of the MCU is going to be, and considering we've just seen what Natalie is going to be, it's like a reformed memories as well as the emotional part of your soul being brought to life, and when Riri's mum actually says, "Can you do that the same as her former partner?" I think that's something that we haven't really explored in media just yet, considering AI is actually being more and more thrust upon us humans at the moment, and how that relationship that we're going to have is going to be interesting. Like, you see it now with, do you want to talk to an AI therapist, and sort of would you have a best friend who's also an AI? I mean, you see like weird articles in the news at the moment of some guy proposing to his AI bot that he created, and he's already married with a kid. So, weird, but sort of interesting as well, of having what is more soul based than actually machine. So it's sort of that mixture as well, considering what Riri is still suffering from like loss and grief, and it doesn't really help that she accidentally made her best friend slash cousin slash sister-in-law, whatever, that relationship is constantly back and behaving like she was when she was alive. And also, it is quite interesting when Riri is having that panic attack and going through the panic attacks that she has. Like, Nat is the only one that can actually calm her down. But considering she is not real, is real, what's going on? So I kind of like that aspect when it comes to this story. Otherwise, it's run-of-the-mill sort of action-packed, heavy espionage. What do you call it? Heist sort of stuff. Like you got the computer person, and you got the one that's got bombs, and you got one that can karate kicks, and you also got a guy in a hood that can actually augment the reality around you. So that's interesting. It's an interesting show, and I'm. It's going to be a hit or miss if the next three sort of hit the landing, and I assume they will because they've been sitting on this for over 2 or 3 years. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy at the moment. I'm eating well. I'm having a pickle.
Nice. Cool. Well, just to character / story elements, you guys have touched on a few things already. But just for, my thoughts, just to piggyback off what Mike was saying about Riri and Natalie. I really, really like, and I was very impressed with when they had, like, when Riri wakes up at the end of episode 1 and a hologram AI projection of her dead best friend is standing in front of her, and she's like, "What the fuck happened?" And I was just like, okay, this is fucking good, because it was cool, and I mean, kind of stock standard, but cool to have, like, to give Riri this backstory of something tragic happened to her. I mean, a lot of our superheroes have tragic backstories. It's kind of part and parcel with the genre. But myself, having not known much about the character, I don't know if this is from the comics or if this is invented for the show. But either way, I was like, this is cool. Learning more about who she is, because in Wakanda Forever, we didn't really get to learn too much about Riri because it wasn't her story, but now we have her story. And the fact that they then make it like Natalie is sort of like her Jarvis, but very much an advanced version of Jarvis, in the sense that she's Natalie to a T. It's an AI, but it is Natalie. It's like it's almost like it's her ghost sort of thing. So that's probably the only part where I bumped up against it though, because I can't think of what else it's been done in, but I swear I've seen it before where they've had like someone who's the likeness of someone who's dead be used, but it's not actually them, and they acknowledge that it's not actually them. I kind of like that. I would have liked that approach more for Natalie here than having her be a carbon copy of her dead best friend and more ghost. Like, I like that she has Natalie's mannerisms, personality, and I really enjoyed how they handled the reveal with her mum, because that could have gone into the overdramatic places of like, oh my god, what have you done? And they didn't do that. They handled it very like mature, and like her mum's not even mad that Natalie did it. She was just like, can you make one for Gary? That was heartbreaking, that scene. Her being like, can you bring back my dead husband, please? Yeah, but so I kind of wish they kind of done Natalie as more of a physical, like just her own physical appearance, and not fully, because this AI thinks she's Natalie, and I mean, it's kind of fascinating because of she's come from Riri's memories and thoughts and feelings, and it's really interesting. So therefore, she's become this version of Natalie that is Natalie as Riri knows Natalie to be, remembers her. So she has certain memories, which I found really just just really fascinating. But I think I would have liked it more. She just, I don't know, behaved more like an AI and a person, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's a fair criticism or not, or that's just my opinion, really. But it's a really cool aspect of the story. I'm really liking it, and like, you know, the whole panic attack moments you guys have spoken about, where, you know, they go into the old shop and Riri, you know, like, that was really, like, I felt that in my gut, and my breathing felt a bit labored because I'm watching this and going, she's seeing the AI Natalie, also in her mind seeing Natalie about to die, and they're kind of in the same shot. The way it was edited, it was like, oh god, like, it was very gut wrenching. So they did a really good job of getting across Riri's mental struggles with that, and I do like the fact that in a twisted, ironic way, the Natalie AI is the one that's able to take her, you know, bring her back, you know, steady her, level her, get her breathing again, stuff. And the fact that, you know, the other thing I really like about the Natalie thing is that she's the one that notices something's up with Parker. She doesn't trust him. I think that's kind of cool, you know. Interesting, and it kind of makes sense, I think, for an AI. You know, they're gonna, like, you know, she's saying, especially because she's like, I scanned him or whatever. I'm picking up some shit and blah blah blah, and Riri's just so like, no, you're not ruining this for me. So yeah, so I like it. I like that whole dynamic, but I feel like I don't know, I would have done it slightly different if it was me writing it, but you know, but it's and I don't know, it's kind, because I'm just like, at the same time, I feel like Riri should be, I don't know, like, we see her going through her grief here, but I feel like it should be heavier and not so light, because I feel like Natalie's bringing a lot of the comic relief, which is fun, like her in the computer screen and trying to get out and stuff and figure out how to do things. Like, it's kind of funny, but then wouldn't you be fucking catatonic at the sight of your dead best friend in front of you, acting exactly like your dead best friend? No,
I think maybe for me, I see where you're coming from, Kendall. I think for me, it's the fact that Riri is so focused on getting her suit to where she wants it to be. Her mind has been so focused on that, like, she's distracted. And maybe that's probably the reason why she's not as heavy in the grief and the, you know, the traumatized from seeing her dead best friend as an AI.
Yeah, and that's maybe why it hits so hard in that scene when she goes back into the shop for the first time, because that's when she's like, oh, I'm here where it happened, and I'm reliving it, and I'm, you know, it's a whole, no, that's fair, Fulya. She's Riri. If there's one thing, Riri is definitely singularly focused on her objective, and you know, she wants to be the best. She wants to create something iconic, as she says. She wants to be innovative and this suit and build it better than Tony. And I love the shade she puts on Tony's stuff. In the couple of moments here, it's fun. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, she's just so singular that she's not really feeling. She's not allowing herself to feel like how fucked up the situation is.
Yeah, I feel, and I think that there's gonna be, I don't know which episode it'll be. It might be the penultimate episode, but I think that's the episode we're gonna get she's going to move on from the denial and get into the actual, oh my god, and sort of continue on with her grief process. But maybe this is just her way of processing grief, that, you know, she needs to focus on something else. But then seeing that she's managed to manifest her best friend into this AI that maybe this is a way for her to process her grief, to still talk to her in a way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Like it could be healthy.
mm,
Maybe
it could be helping.
maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there might be some payoff with that to come.
I think
Maybe.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's cool that Riri has like a sidekick without having a sidekick, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like she's not doing this by herself.
No.
Per se. So yeah. Do either
You
of you
always
guys
need
have
a-
anything else? Sorry, Mike, go on.
Yeah, sorry. You always need a character to talk to, otherwise they're talking to themselves,
Yeah.
and that's not really entertaining.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Exactly.
And also,
yeah.
when you're saying you were trying to think of somewhere that you've seen it before, Black Mirror.
Oh yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. The one with Haley Atwell and
Yes.
Donald Gleason.
And Donald Gleason. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I forgot. Yeah. I knew. I'm like, I know I've seen this somewhere where there's a dead person, but it's not them. But it's yeah.
Back
it's
to
their
life,
likeness.
and how you emotionally like unpack that. You can't.
Yeah.
It's a constant grief.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then you lock him up in the attic. Spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to the Riri Natalie thing, or is there anything else on Williams to touch on?
I'm not too much on Riri Williams. There is another character touched on yet that I kind of want to get to.
Yeah, well, I mean, if that character is Ezekiel Stain, then yes, we can talk about him.
Yeah.
Or
Joe, yeah.
Joe. we can talk about him. Mike, you want to go on? Or Mike, you got any?
Yeah, we can talk about Joe.
All right, let's talk about Joe. Okay.
What a bombshell, first of all.
Okay, that was unexpected, and that was, one of the things about the show that I definitely will give in the tick column.
Yes.
We love some connective tissue, and we love deep cuts references, especially to the beginning of the MCU. Jeff Bridges, Obadiah Stane, Iron Man 1 villain. And here we have his son, Ezekiel, played by Alden Ehrenreich, who is just great, I think. I'm really glad he turned out to be more than just this kind of creepy, white guy who deals in the black market.
Yeah, I was gonna say episode 3 made me think. I was like, something's happening here. I don't know if I anymore.
And I need to make a really lame joke right now because no one else will appreciate it. I don't know if you guys will, but I don't know if you remember when Black Panther was happening, and we had Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis, and they were the Tolkien white guys.
Tolkien.
This is Tolkien white guys. It was a great play on words. It was very funny.
Wait,
and I'm gonna say here that
he's
the solo white guy. Don't you dare steal my joke. Don't you dare steal my joke.
but I'm white cisgendered man. I can't.
Yes. Alden Ehrenreich, the solo white guy. Here, mic drop.
Hands down, he's the solo
white guy. Because he played Han Solo in a Han movie. Yes, just clear. I'm a fan of his performance though. The creep factor aside, but yes, I'm glad he turned out to be someone of more relevance to the overall MCU. Kind of makes him more interesting for the story, especially what we know about Obadiah Stane and how his story ended. I like how he told Riri immediately, like, yeah, the plane crash was a cover-up. He died trying to kill Tony Stark. He was a bad man. And it's I kind of like when you get the the kids of villains in things, because it's going to be interesting to see which way he goes, because he's already dealing in the black market. He's got this secret bunker where he has all this tech. He has these really cool ideas that he says, like the skin thing was kind of cool, and now that's fucked her over bad. Fucked them both over. But then there's the whole like live, laugh, love thing that we see him throwing out at the end of one of the episodes, and that was fun. I like where he's kind of going and singing Alanis Morissette for no reason other than that song is a banger. Yeah, but I'm curious to see if they're gonna keep him on the straight and narrow and keep him on this path of like, I want to redeem the family name sort of thing, or are they gonna keep him, maybe make him more shady? And I don't know. I feel like they're gonna keep him good. I think he's gonna redeem his father a little bit. Yeah.
Are they going to scrub the stains out?
Oh no.
Nice. Thank you. Copyright Michael Lister 2025.
Or me. See. It's me. It's all me.
Yeah. But no, I like him. I like his on-screen chemistry with Dominic Thorne. I think they work really well together. They play off each other really well. So I hope he plays an integral part to the culmination of the story. But yeah, he's an interesting addition to the world here, to the show. Fulya, what did you think about Joe?
Joe. Well, first of all, their family name is already stained.
Oi! We're all coming in with the puns. We're all doing it. Let's go.
Well,
great.
I don't know. Like when we first meet Joe, I was a bit like sus of him, and the fact that he has this little bunker that they have to drive out to, in order to get to his tech and stuff, and the fact that he never touched it when he first got it. That was a bit weird. I'm like, you got all this stuff in here and then you never did anything with it since? Like, why? You've had it that long and you haven't done any kind of work with it? And then the moment he did get a chance to touch it, all of a sudden just ideas and stuff starts blowing up in his head. And he wants to do so much with it, which is awesome because that's kind of like a great motivational tool to get ideas out onto paper and getting things done. I feel like when they revealed that he was the son of Obadiah Stane, I was like, and the fact that he wants to be the better version of his dad. I'm hoping that they keep him that way. And I also kind of can see that he's trying to get through to Riri in terms of what she's doing at the moment for money to get the stuff she needs to make her suit the best. But I don't know if Riri's going to be able to get out of this, considering how deep she's gotten them into now. And considering what happened at the end of episode 3. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all turns out. But I'm hoping that I'm just going to keep calling him Joe until they actually mention the fact that his name's Ezekiel in the show. Because they haven't done that yet. IMDb is just spoiling it for us. But I think Joe is going to be the good guy here, and I hope that he manages to find a way to get through to Riri to pull her out of it and help her. It's weird that he decided to do add tech to his own body, like he's experimenting with stuff, and you see this arm sort of sliced open because he's put stuff, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? So yeah, Joe is, I like Joe. He was a bit creepy for a few scenes, and I was a bit sus of him, thinking, "What the hell's going on with this guy?" But I think there's good in him, and I think that this character is going to be the angel on Riri's shoulder, essentially, to Parker's devil. And the fact that shit has hit the fan at the end of episode 3, and now Riri's in trouble. Because, yeah, Parker knows what happened now. But I don't understand how that's happening. He was in this. Sorry to jump ahead. I'm just like, I want to kind of mention the fact that he was talking to someone or something in the room after that heist, and now I want to know what or who that is. And I have, like, it definitely has something to do with that hood that he has, but there's more to it because now it's kind of ingrained in his body. Like the fact that he's getting all these, like, it's almost like he was poisoned and he's trying to cover it up with all these tattooing. So yeah, I don't know what's going on in Parker's head, but Joe's good. I like Joe. Let's keep him good.
I think you've just put the nail on the coffin for Joe.
Yeah.
Mike, what are your thoughts Joe
on Joe?
Ezekiel.
Yeah, it was good. I like the connection to Tony Stark without having references to Tony Stark directly, and yeah, I think it's a very interesting take to have a character that is connected to the first movie, first Iron Man, and also the brief cameo of Jeff Bridges in a Ziploc bag. But you know,
God, I just realized then. I'm like, find out late after that scene. And then, like, oh, is it?
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't realize. I'm like, that's, yeah. Anyway,
that's him.
Moving on. That's him in a bag.
It's him in a bag. Oh, he was a piece of shit. Anyway. Yeah, I like his character, because he's got his own journey to do. I am skeptical if he's going to be the same at the end as he is now. I think he's going to be more enticed into technology, because it's not really an ethical. Well, I wouldn't say ethical, but it's not really a good thing to augment your own body. Just for kicks, and just realizing, and then it's kind of fitting that I actually watched Train Spotting. It's it's trying to not have that fix ever again, but it's just one thing, and you're back to square one. So yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good for Joe. I don't think. I'm gonna have to push back on Fulya's hopeful angel
I'm
shoulder.
being optimistic. All right.
You're allowed.
I mean, because like we've said, like the episode and the tech really. I mean, is that going to set him off down a bad path, or is it going to keep him? Is he going to? Yeah. So I can see, Mike, why you're saying things might go a certain way for Joe, but I want to be optimistic like you, Fulya. So
yeah,
yes,
I'm gonna be on your team on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
But Mike might be right.
I don't want him to be though.
It's a gift. Yeah, we'll touch on Parker as well. It just dawned on me. The hood is sort of like what Riri is going through as well, where the hood is being haunted. It's he sold his soul to the devil. Yeah, there's the Mephisto thing, and
I like that.
and surely if you're being possessed by something, surely that's like an AI in your head, in your hood, in your metal armor, and it's these people. There's the connection, and where things are going to go. And I'm not necessarily saying that Nat is an evil AI. I mean, cinema dictates that it doesn't go down well, but we've had good AIs in MCU. Friday, Jarvis. I think that's it.
Yeah.
The one that I can
Just the
remember.
two.
Yeah. I can see the connection now.
Okay, I like that. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
We're done here.
Well, I
Nothing
mean,
to
yeah.
talk about?
Let's talk. Let's just talk a little bit about Parker, and then we'll
Yeah.
move on to maybe some speculation for the ending. But
First of
yeah,
all, Eric Andre's in this, and
I know.
smiled so big. I thought, "Ah, you're here," and then they killed him off screen. Fuck you.
Yeah. I was very surprised. I didn't know he was going to be in this, and I saw him, and I was like, "Oh my god, wow! Eric Andre's in the MCU now. This is wild."
For a bit.
Just for he's here for a bit. No, sorry, Rampage. Everyone just call him Rampage. You know, they kind of put that joke in a bit too much. It didn't work for me. Some of the I will just before I talk about my thoughts on Parker. Some of the humor was very forced, especially when there was like one part where one of the characters was like, "Oh, that's funny. I see what you did there. That's funny." I'm like, "Don't tell the audience what's funny. That's not how humor works." Anyway, it wasn't funny. Yes, Parker / the Hood. Mike, I am so on board with your connection and theory there. Juxtaposition, if you like. There's good and bad, and they're both haunted. They have their own ghosts. Because I'm really curious as to what the Hood is and whether or not it is Mephisto involved here. I feel like the show doesn't do subtlety very well, because there's the scene where Natalie tells Riri that she doesn't trust Parker. She's getting bad juju vibes from. Behind Riri are these posters, and it's just the word Faust over and over again. I'm like, be subtle. That's just making me think that Parker's made a deal with the devil, and that is whoever is in control of the Hood, or however he got the Hood, and the reason he has this consequence of this disease or infection or bad magic that's spreading through him, that he needs John to cover up these tattoos and stuff. So I feel like he must have made some sort of Faustian deal here, like Robin Hood robbing from the rich to give to the poor, that sort of vibe. So they're kind of, it's all very on the nose. So I kind of would like to learn more about Parker's backstory here, because he's quite a fascinating character, and like, why would he make it? If he has made a Faustian deal, why has he done that? What's his situation? Clearly he has good intentions, these heists that he's got his team pulling off, but they're not executing them in the best of ways, and the fact that Riri's tangled up in this is going to come back and bite her in the ass, as we're already seeing that's heading in that direction. But yeah, I kind of hope we get a good, like, maybe episode 4 is our Parker backstory episode, or not even the whole episode, maybe just the first like 20 minutes is just like here's Parker. Here's why he goes down this path and what he's done. And because I think because when they released the episode titles, there was like a sheet that looked like schematics and stuff, and it had the lists on there. And the next episode 4, is called Bad Magic, and then the one after that's called Karma's a Glitch, and I can't remember which one, but in one of them the M was in red, and that's when a lot of people started going, "Oh, Mephisto, that's like another sign, another hint that he's coming in this show." But I think Bad Magic, especially the next episode, is going to be, I hope, a Parker backstory episode, because I think we need to know more about who he is. And I also liked, just before I throw to you, Fulya, the whole Riri trying to get the bit of cloth, bit of his hood, so she could analyze it. And yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later. But yeah, I kind of liked that too. So yeah, Parker's an interesting villain. I feel like John, the character of John, was sort of wasted, because I like Manny Montana. He's a good actor, good presence, and yeah, they kind of turned him into a sort of sidekick villain, and I was like, okay, whatever. This show clearly doesn't have time. So, but then the rest of them are kind of like 2D, sidekicks that don't really add too much. Like, they're cool, they all look great, and then we have, because we have lots of queer representation going on, so fuck yes to that. But yeah, take or leave the group that encompasses the hood, I guess, if I'm speaking correctly. But anyway, Fulya, do you have anything else to add on? You've talked a bit about Parker already, but do you have any other thoughts?
Look, yeah, Parker definitely, like, I just want to know more about what it is what his actual motive is, because they've hinted at it a few times, between him and John, having their little discussions about, why they need to do heists like in quick successions and stuff like that. And yeah, just the fact that this hood that he's managed to gain in his life is, definitely causing some bad aura or something like that. Like, definitely, just really bad kind of like magic, if you will, coming through from that red hood. And yeah, just I'm just very curious to learn more about his backstory, like why he's doing this, and why he's trying to take down these corporations that have wronged him in his life, I suppose. There has to be a deeper like story to that than just taking them down because they're bad, Yeah, so Parker's one of those kind of characters. Like, he's an interesting character, but we're not getting a lot about him. We're just getting he's bad news. That's all we're getting right now. Yeah, and the rest of the crew just, yeah, Kendall, you're kind of right in the sense that they're not, like, you could take them or leave them, to be honest. Even though they're really cool characters, you don't really get to see much of them, like, apart from when they're doing the heist or the pre-heist plans, when they're talking about how they're going to get things done. Yeah, I don't know. Slugger's cool though. The fact that they're the hacker, and I love that they're doing it in these really long nails. Like, how the hell are you typing on that keyboard?
I just every time I see Slug, I'm just staring at their eyes, because their eyes
the
are just
shadows, right?
The eye makeup is just on point, and
It's
I'm like,
so good.
yeah,
Love it.
Very cool, very cool. At one point, it almost looked like an optical illusion, the way it was.
Kind of, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
very clever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, like they could. I don't know if they're gonna do much more with the rest of the crew. Now that one of them has now died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how that kind of goes. But that was very very brave of Riri to go out of her way to try and get a piece of his hood. But in doing that, she triggered the alarms, and like, yeah, it's definitely something that wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened anyway. And not to mention the fact that she got, caught off guard by John,
Yeah.
which was bad. And then now she's left some evidence there that she wasn't supposed to. And I don't think she even realized until after the fact. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next 3 episodes. But I just feel like I don't know, like from what we've seen so far, it just feels like it's being a bit rushed because it's in such a short amount of time that they're trying to tell the story. So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Mike, you have any additional thoughts on Parker the Hood and what could be coming for the rest of the show?
I think weirdly, I think the showdown is going to be technology versus magic, and how that's going to manifest, I do not know. But could be sky battle, flying up to the sea, and then bullets. Yeah, it's very, very, very weird predicament that people going to find out who's been doing all these heists, but then, yeah, as you say, the team is going to be broken up because they found out that Parker's found out that Riri's double crossed them, so it's going to be up against them, and I don't know. The law is going to go after possibly Joe, Ezekiel, and yeah, it's going to be it's a big shit hit fan scenario, which is pretty cool. We're coming down to the third act, and yeah, I think we're probably going to get more backstory with Parker, and then it's going to be all things, all the chickens are coming home to roost. Yeah. And then, surprise, Eric Andre is still alive, and he saves him. Trying to think of something else. Yeah, I kind of like the fact that I don't really have much speculation on this. Like, I don't know what these characters are going to be up to, because I'm expecting that it's not going to be like a huge part of the MCU overall story. What's going to happen? I think they have said that they're going to be the TV shows are going to be more their own thing, and if you watch it, cool, and if you miss it, it's not going to be going to be required viewing like it has been. Like Loki, for instance, is very connected to Deadpool and Wolverine, but I think they made it enough. I think they made it enough like wriggle room to say, you don't have to watch Loki, even though you'd be foolish not to, because it's a good show, unfortunately, because it's got Loki in it. Anyway. Yeah, I can't wait for it to conclude and find out what things are doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, one final thought I just wanted to touch on is that I did like the climax of the third episode with the tension between Riri trying to do her thing and like the heist gang trying to get their thing sorted, and like the thing with like if the security system detecting foreign objects and how that sets off all. I just thought the way that all kind of played out tension wise was really so. But but I'm sad that John's dead because he deserved better. But anyway, and the fact that Riri let him die. I know he was trying to kill her, clearly, but letting him die. I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's in character with her. Not, but then again, I'm not really a Riri Williams expert. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting her to be like, "Oh fuck," and I think maybe that's part of the reason why in the last scene of the episode we see her so distraught, because she's like, not only have I've remembered that I left the Ezekiel's skin thing, the skin tech behind, because she promised him it wouldn't get traced back to him and he'd be fine. That's out of the window now. And then maybe there's also like a factor of, oh, I left some guy to die and then I had to cover it up, and I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I hope it ends well. Optimistic thoughts. It's not a bad show. There's definitely a lot of good stuff going on. So hopefully that we get more of that good stuff as it wraps up this week. It's just a shame that Marvel has it's come out now, like right before Fantastic Four, and Marvel's not really focused on promoting it, I think. Similar to Elio with versus Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, I don't know. I hope it goes well, and I hope the Hood, whatever the reveal with Parker, pays off. But but I agree with you, Mike. I think it probably there'll be a science versus magic. Like, how's Riri going to overcome this conflict with Parker if he's, being controlled by some kind of evil magical being? Like, how does she defeat that? Using technology. So, yeah.
Which
We
one's
will
the
see.
correct method?
And Thor just drops in and I can solve this.
Absolute power, and just whacks Parker and knocks his head off. And then the Hood connects to Thor, and then we get Thor with the ultimate power, and he becomes a villain, and he's the ultimate bad guy.
All right, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
All right, let's.
Thor 5
end it
is going to
there.
be. You didn't like the last one? Wait until you see this.
Wait until you see what I've got in store now. Yes, let's wrap it there, shall we?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Those are our thoughts on Ironheart episodes 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, it's not like a closer deep dive on every single bit, but I think we did a pretty good job at summarizing most of it.
I like the Clippy reference.
The clip. Oh yeah, I forgot about that in
Yeah.
episode 1.
The
That
pencil.
was great.
Yeah.
That was great. That was
Jim
so
Rash.
funny.
Cute.
He's
Jim
in it for a
Rash,
little bit.
yes.
There you go. There's
Yes,
our deep
very-
dive.
There we go. There you go. All right. Popcorn culture's done, which means the show is done for another week. Let's get out of here. 1, 2, 3,
And
that
that
was
was a
a
podcast called
Friend.
Friend.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky for the latest Friend content.
If you like to listen to Fred the Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com. Fred the Alien Productions. If you're watching us right now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of future content. And if you're watching us live over on Twitch, make sure to give us a follow on your way out. Twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Yes. I've been a
Fulya and
And I've been the Pickle Demon, Michael Lister.
And You've just
You just
experienced a
experienced
podcast
podcast
called
called
Friend.
Transition.
Yes. Remember to eat beef.
And pickles. Remember, Freddy lives, Loki dies, the Doctor is in, and I'm Pickle Mick. Ah, Pickle Mick.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Remember to look after yourself and your mental health, everyone.
Yes, please do. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Later.
And
Scene.
scene.